Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you are able to listen to me properly, as well as there is no problem with my audio or the video, please do let me know. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now, guys. If you are able to listen to me properly, as well as there is no issues with my audio or the video, please do let me know. Am I audible or not? Like somebody is writing, I'm not audible. Please do let me know, guys. If there is any issue with my audio or the video, please do let me know. I've opened up the live chat as well. I hope that there is no problem of any sort. I'm audible, no issues. Okay, great, amazing, guys, amazing. So today we are going to complete JavaScript. And as far as the project goes, I would like to share what you guys will be making tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So I think so, as the project is a bit larger, we may have to extend the number of days for the bootcamp by 1 or 2 days. So please bear on with me for the same. Okay. So let me just show you what we are going to make in the project from tomorrow onwards. So as far as the website goes, we are going to start off with this particular page. First of all, we will be making the landing page of Netflix, the complete thing, with the HTML, CSS and JavaScript, along with, for example, when you are typing your email, the placeholder that you are able to see moves on the top, and you are able to put down your email below that. So we will be going further to do this as well. These like email is required or something like that. So this will be the first thing that we will be doing. Okay. The second page that we are going to build is our main Netflix page as well. Just give me a second. I will log in with my credentials. Okay, so that will be the first page that we will be building. The second page that we will be building is, just a second, lock Shaurya. The second page that we'll be building is this particular page right over here. That is the main page. Let me just switch off the audio from right over here. This is the exact page with the, so when you will be clicking on any of these posters, it will open up the trailers for these posters, because we don't own the rights to show the movie itself. But still, we will open up the trailers from YouTube, and this is what we will be building. Okay, not like, of course, not so many categories, but some of the categories, and it will look the exact same as you are able to see from right over here. So these are the two pages that we will be focusing upon. Okay, today we will be completing with JavaScript, and tomorrow and day after tomorrow we will be focusing upon these two pages, the landing page and the home page. Okay, are you guys like agreeing with this, or do you guys want some other pages in Netflix that we should implement? Please let me know, guys, because these are the two main pages of Netflix that exists. So that's why I'm targeting these two pages itself. Can someone let me know if they are with me or not? Please give me a suggestion, guys. Like, I want to be as interactive with you. I've planned these boot camps out in a very particular way, so that you guys are able to develop the basics as well as implementing it on a good project, so that you guys are able to like show it off and like be the cool guys in the college as well. Okay, so we want both the things. Okay, I want more pages. See, these are the two main pages in Netflix. There are no other pages that you usually access. Okay. Yeah. What about the watched videos? I don't know, like, where I'm able to find that. Like, I use the Netflix a lot, of course. Like, but still. Okay. Can we make more pages? Let me just reiterate over this. Very less number of students have joined us today as well. Can we wait for 5 more minutes so that I don't want to reiterate over it again? Let's wait for 5 more minutes. I will try to answer some of your questions up till that point of time. Okay, because then I will have to re-show everything to the students, so it will be very difficult for me. While hovering the movie card, it should show cast, rating, time, category. Bikram, as we are not implementing a backend, just a front end for the same, it won't be of good importance to do that. Okay. We'll wait for 2 more minutes so that if more students are joining us, then I can just show both the pages to them, and like then we can reiterate over it. Someone told me about the profile page. Let's see, that is the account itself, I guess. So this is also something that is like does not look good enough to be shown on your resume. That's why I went on with the two pages. Let me just open up the second page as well. Give me a second, guys. We'll open it up in a new tab. Let's see. Array shit. Okay, no issues. Netflix. So these are the two pages that I have like thought of implementing in the next 2 days. On the first day, we will be implementing this particular page. Okay, that is the landing page for Netflix, including these things as well. You will be able to open it up, okay, and watch the things, email address and all these kind of stuff. So this is the first thing that we will be implementing. The second thing that we will be implementing will be the home page, as you are able to see from right over here. Okay, so this is what we'll be like operating on. I will try to make sure that if you are hovering over any of the cards, you are able to get these options as well. I cannot guarantee it because there is like a time constraint as well. But if we have enough time, I will definitely try my best to have this as well. Nevertheless, if you're clicking on any of these channels, it will open up their YouTube like trailer, because of course we don't have the access for the videos, so it will open up the YouTube trailer itself. So I guess these two things are something that we will be implementing. Okay, no, we won't be using any library, we won't be using any framework for this, because like I said, I haven't taught you. Whatever I have taught you up till right now, only that much I will be using to implement these things. If I'm using anything else, I will be explaining it along the way, so you don't have to worry about the same. Rishi, my LinkedIn ID is down in the description of the video if I'm not wrong. Okay, so let me just check from my end. Yeah, so my LinkedIn ID is down in the description in the mentor details. If someone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, surely do so. Those who don't have a LinkedIn account and they are planning to become developers, you are making a huge mistake. You have to have a LinkedIn account, guys, and be sure to be able to maintain it. Okay, post updates what you have done so that people are able to identify that okay, this guy is currently making a Netflix clone. Okay, so if someone has some opportunities for you, has some questions for you, he is able to reach out to you as well. So make sure that you are having a good maintained LinkedIn account as well. Further, we can improve this project in the future, right? Sure. What I have planned in the future is like, of course, these are very small projects. I don't even consider them as a major project. For me, a major project is in which you are having a front end, a back end deployed on at least like a cloud computing platform, not something like GitHub. And then you are able to orchestrate it and set up CI/CD pipelining. That is a major project which I consider in full stack. So of course that won't be possible in boot camps. In boot camps we'll be having such type of minor projects itself, whether it be like 2 pages of Netflix. Maybe in React.js I will be having 1 page of Facebook. Maybe in the future I will be having a small backend for sign in, sign up for the Netflix front end itself. Okay, so these are the things that we'll be having in the boot camps, because 7 days is not enough to learn the concepts required to make a major project. Okay, so yeah, can we upload this certificate on LinkedIn? Of course, you can do the same. Okay, sure, if you want to join the full stack program, you can do that as well. Okay, What is your age, sir? So my age, I think so. I'm 21 right now. Yeah, I am a bit smaller than like the batch that I passed out with, uh, because I never did my like LKG and UKG. I directly went to the first standard, so I'm like 2 years younger than my current batch. So I should have been like in the 20 um, like batch itself. That's why. No, so 2001. So, but I have like been a part of various companies as a data scientist as well as a full stack engineer. From my 10th standard itself, I started out with like major coding. In 10th standard, the first project that I made that I consider it as a good project was a Pac-Man game that I made using Flash and JavaScript. So that was where I started out with my career as a developer. Yeah, and then like I did my internships with companies like Reliance, Geo. I went on for going with hiring for these companies as well. So yeah, the best thing about the same is that you don't have to be like in the tech world. You don't have to have like you have to be like 30 years old, have like at least four gray hair on your head, at least have a PhD. Like these things are not necessary in like computer science. If you want to excel in these fields, if you want to work for companies that pay you extremely well for your time, you just have to have the right knowledge. Okay. It's the real age itself, Saurabh. Okay. Yeah, many people told me like I look like a fat Carrie Minati, and I'm like, dude, that's like fat shaming on life. So that's not great. Okay. No issues. So again, I will reiterate, some of the students have joined us late. So today we will be finishing off with functions in JavaScript. From tomorrow, we are going to start off with the Netflix project. We will be we will be extending the bootcamp by 1 or 2 days. So it won't be 7 days long. It will be 8 days long. The certificates will be given to you on the basis of that. You don't have to worry. It will state 8 days long itself. You don't have to worry. I've completed my engineering, so you don't have to worry about that. So the two pages that you will be making is the first of all the home page of Netflix. Okay, we will be making this entire web page first of all. The second thing that we are going to make is our landing page of Netflix, and we won't be using any frameworks or anything like that. We will just be using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Whatever we have learned up till today, we will be using that to create these two pages. If you guys have any suggestions for any extra pages that I feel is a little bit different from these two pages and has something that can teach you guys something more, then I will surely include that as well. Okay. So let's start off with today's class, guys. Are you guys ready? Please. So we will be making the search button as well. Yeah, that can be made. Like it's a simple JavaScript based search button. Of course, it won't work. Okay, it would be something like, okay, you are having the button, you click on it and it just opens up. If you're searching something, it won't work because for that you need a backend for the same. But yes, it would be very simple to implement that. It may involve some new concepts, but don't worry about it. I will be explaining everything in brief. Okay, you don't have to worry. I will make sure that the entire project you are able to understand everything. Okay. Okay, so yeah, let's start off with the same, guys. So let me go back to uh, website, go to inspect element. Let's open up the console. So if you remember correctly, we were writing our code in the console. So yesterday I got a very good like message when I was leaving the class. I wanted to share it with you. So when I was leaving the class, and the last someone messaged me that there are a lot of bugs in your CSS file. So you don't have to always write your CSS code. There are techniques in which you can just make the entire website via a UI UX person, and it will generate the CSS code for you. Okay. So that is an automated AI generated CSS code. Okay, it is not generated or made by a human being. Now that particular person messaged like in the chat itself that your CSS has a lot of bugs. And I was like, dude, like it is generated by. So I came out of the class at that particular point of time. I wanted to say to him that if you are watching this video, it is an AI generated CSS code. Okay, it is not written by a human being. A human being can have some problems or some errors that may be there, but an AI cannot have any kind of problems or bugs that it is having. Okay, so if you are watching this, then I think so there is some type of technical lacking that you are having in your knowledge. So if you want, you can directly approach me. I will help you out with the same. But dude, like if you have the knowledge, then only comment such things on live platforms. Otherwise, you are making a fool of yourself, not anyone else. Okay. Will you teach to make video player for Netflix? No, we will be directly using YouTube for the same. Okay. So can we add this on LinkedIn if you don't have a backend? Of course. That's why we are making these type of showy projects. I could have a simple portfolio website for you guys, but every single person is making a portfolio website layer. Nobody would be impressed by that. So I want to make sure that when you are posting this on LinkedIn, people are getting impressed that okay, this is what you have done. You have made a Netflix logo, man. That looks awesome. Oh man, I can even like access it and use it as well. That's amazing. So this is the kind of response that I want to seek from your peers for yourself. Because I want to make sure that when you are attending, sorry, when you are attending these boot camps, you are actually standing out from the rest of the crowd, not inside the sheepy like I want you to be the wolf of the gang, not the sheep in the herd. Okay. Okay, so let's start off. No more these things. Okay. Yeah, you can add these projects on your resumes as well, Khushbu. But again, like I said, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is the basics. Nobody is going to give you an internship or a job on the basis of that. You have to learn a lot more. Okay. So let's get started, guys. Today we are going to start off with functions in JavaScript. Previously we had seen variables, we had seen the alert, the console.log, and the prompt. These are the things that we saw. Now we need to understand the use of like functions in like what is functions. So just like let me open up my paint. Okay, give me a second. So when we were learning variables, can someone let me know what is the purpose of variables? Can somebody can we have to do the same for Amazon Prime? So once you have learned all this, you can try Amazon Prime on yourself as well. But that's a good suggestion. I will definitely try to make some other pages of Amazon, Hulu, and put them up online as well. Okay. So please, guys, let me know what is the use of variables. Can someone let me know? I'm looking for a very specific answer, guys. To hold data, okay, but where will we be using it? Okay, to contain data for future use. Great. So somebody who has said it, Karthik Kumar has said it very clearly. Okay, Karthik, amazing. To contain, my handwriting is absolute shit, so try to understand what I'm trying to write. Okay, contain data for future use. That is your variables. Okay, that is your variables. Now the same thing for code. Contain code. I will have to keep the live chat to the side itself. Give me a second. Arey shitty. To contain code for future use is your function. Okay, just think about it. For some data, it's variables. For some code, it is function. But how does it work? Like data I'm able to understand, like, okay, I have a rent variable, wherever I have to use that rent, I will just insert it and use it. Okay, that I'm able to understand. What about code? Like how do we use it? Okay, what is its purpose? So let's try to understand it in this way. For example, there is some code. Okay, let me get an example right now. Okay, so you want to take an input from the user, the name. Okay, name as an input, store it in a variable. Okay, then use that variable in an alert to show a welcome message for every single user that is coming to your website. Every single user that is coming to your website, you want to have his name taken as an input. Okay, you want to store it in a particular variable. You want to have an alert, okay, that says that welcome Shaurya, how are you, something like that. Now the issue is that, okay, so you have written these lines of code. These are like 1 2 3 lines of code that is there. Now for example, there are 100 users that are going to come to your website. What can you do? Okay, so will you, and these are happening at random places. Okay, so for example, a user came in, then executed some lines of code, then another user came in, then executed some other lines of code, and so on and so forth. So I have not taught you the concept of loops, but if someone is a genius and is saying that, okay, 100 people are coming, we will put it in a loop and do that. Okay, that's not possible, because between two users you are having some pieces of code as well. Okay, so right now we want to execute these 3 lines of code 100 times at different intervals. How to do that? One option is copy pasting this particular code 100 times whenever we want to use, but that is not a good solution. It will increase your code itself. Code size will be huge. Okay, you won't be able to rectify any errors if it is there inside of it, because if you are having 10,000 lines of code, it's difficult to rectify error if there is inside that particular code. Maybe in copy pasting it 100 times you made an error or something like that. So what you can do is you can make a function. Think of this function as a variable. Inside this function you are storing these 3 lines of code. Inside this function you are storing these 3 lines of code, and then whenever you want to use these 3 lines of code, you just use the name of that particular function, just like a variable. For example, this function is welcome message. Okay, that is the name of this particular function. Then whenever you want to use this function, you will just write welcome message. That's it. That's it. You don't have to write the entire 3 lines of code. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you able to understand the concept? We will be looking at it in coding as well. I will be showing you some examples. But are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Okay. Who is not able to understand this? Let me know that. Who is not able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. See, if you have, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. If you have understood a little bit as well, that's fine, because when we'll be going into coding, you will be able to understand it completely. But who is not able to understand anything? Like, it just went into your head and just bounced off. Okay, no issues in that. I will explain it again. Think of it as variables. When you want to execute some lines of code again and again and again, okay, for like 100 times at various different locations in your code, like you are having 5 lines of code that you want to execute, like at like 100 different locations within your 10,000 lines of code. Then what can you do? You can copy paste that 5 lines of code and put it at those 100 positions. That is one solution. But early on your code was 10,000 lines. When you're copy pasting it in these 100 locations, now you have 500 more lines of code. Now instead of 10,000, it is 10,500 lines of code. Now if you have some error in your code, you will have to go through extra 500 lines to figure out what is the issue that is causing the error. It may be possible that while copy pasting the code itself, you have made some error in copy pasting. That is also a problem, and it makes your code look bulky. You don't want extra lines of code that does not has the right usage. Okay, that's just shitty code that you have written, and no developer, if you are having a shitty code, nobody is going to hire you. You need to have good quality code that you are able to write. So what is the concept of functions is that 5 lines of code, you save it in a function. Think of functions as variables for code. Now every time you want to execute these 5 lines of code, you can just use the name of that particular function, and you don't have to write that 5 lines of code again. That function itself, the name of that function, stores the code inside of it. So as the compiler comes down to that particular name of the function, it will execute those 5 lines of code, because the value that that function name contains inside of it is that 5 lines of code itself. Okay, is that 5 lines of code itself. Are you able to understand it right now, guys? Please let me know. Those who are not able to understand, are you able to grasp a little bit? Because when we will be going into coding, you will be able to understand. Are you able to grasp a bit? Please let me know. Amazing, guys. So let's go back to coding. Let's look at this same example. Okay. And then we will be able to understand this according to me. Okay, so what we want, first of all, another issue with console. Okay, we need to solve this issue. For example, I want to write 3 lines of code. Let's say console.log 1 plus 2, and then I want to write another line of code and execute it simultaneously, like 2 to 3 lines of code, that is console.log hello world as well. I want to execute these 2 lines of code simultaneously. Now as soon as I press enter to go down to the next line of code, this line gets executed. I'm not able to write my second line of code itself. Now this is a huge issue. To solve this issue, what I can do is I can have console.log the question, like the code itself. Now if I want to go to the next line of code, instead of just pressing enter, I have to press shift enter. Okay, I have to keep on pressing shift and enter. Now using that, as you're able to see, I went to the next line of code. I can write my second line of code as well, console.log hello world. Okay, so right over here I have written 2 lines of code simultaneously. Okay, and when I'm pressing enter, you are able to see that we are getting both 12 and hello world being printed at once. Now this is a big issue in that if I'm writing like 10,000 lines of code right over here, and by mistake while I'm at my 500th line itself, I press enter instead of shift enter, all the work that I've done up till that point of time is almost lost, and we don't want that. Okay, so we want a particular place where we can easily write the code at once, like multiple lines of code that we are able to write, and whenever we want to execute that particular lines of code, we can do it at any point of time. Okay, so why to use console? Okay, if like it has such a huge problem, why to use console? Think of console as the magic ball for developers. Any issues that you are facing, any testing that you need to do, any values that you need to check for your website, you do it using the console itself. Okay, so that's why it is also called as a logbook for your developers. Okay, they are able to get their test results in the console. So for immediate testing of 1 or 2 lines, you usually use console. Now to write your like code right over here, okay, what you have to do is you have to select sources. Okay, first of all click sources. You have to click on sources. Now inside sources there is like these 2 arrow buttons to the left hand side. Okay, there's 2 Smile Mania, I think so you are late, please be on time. The clone is already done. You are very late, I'm so sorry. Now nothing can be done for you, guys. The clone has already been done, am I right? Just tell console mania like he or she is late, so he has missed on the clone. Now we have moved on from there. So right over here, okay, so you are having your sources, and then inside your sources you are having these 2 arrows on the left hand side. Okay, so on the left hand side when you are clicking right over here, you have to select the snippets. Okay, you are having like page, file system, overrides, content, scripts, and then snippets. So I want you to select snippets from right over here, create a new snippet, name it as anything that you like. I will name it as Shaurya .js, but you should be having a .js extension. For example, for CSS it was .css, for HTML it was .html. Similarly, for JavaScript you have to have .js as your extension. Now you are going to write all your code inside this. Let me remove this. Inside this shaurya.js file. Okay, so if I want to write multiple lines of code, so for example console.log and then hello, then I want to write another line of code, I can just press enter, go down below console dot. Please don't disturb the class Smile Mania. Okay, if you want to attend the class learn, you can do so. I have already told in this particular class what we are going to do, how we are going to do. Okay, so you are late, please be patient. At the end of the class I will be repeating the same. Okay, focus upon what I'm teaching right now. World. Okay, so I'm easily able to write any lines of code, any number of lines of code right over here, and then we can just execute it. We can save it from here and then execute that using this particular button. Okay, you can just press right over here, or you can just click on control and enter. That will execute these two lines of code. Whatever has been executed, you will be able to find the answer in the console itself, because it is console.log. Okay, it is console.log, so it will be logged on in the console. The answer will be logged on in the console itself. So of course we cannot write our function inside of your console because it will be multiple lines of code. So that's why we are going to use this snippets to learn functions. Okay, that's why I told you guys about the sources and snippets. So let us start off with the same. Let me just open up my okay. So to create a function, first of all let's write the code that we want to use. So first of all we need to create a variable var name is equals to, we want to take an input from the user. Can somebody let me know what is the code that we need to use to take an input from the user, guys? What is the code that we need to use to take an input from the user, guys? Please let me know. Can someone let me know what is the input that we can take? Prompt. Okay, amazing, guys. So prompt prompt. Then inside the prompt, the message, what is your name? Has somebody seen that meme, like the two dogs who scream at each other, what is your name? And they one said Tony. Like that's an amazing, like we will put the name as Tony itself. I will have the message as something very close to what the reply was, if you know the reply. Okay, so we have taken in the input from the user right now, saved it into a particular variable called as name. Now we want to put an alert out with a welcome message in it. So alert, hi. Then we need to concatenate it with the name. So plus name. We have learned about concatenation as well, guys. Welcome to DevTown. Okay, so this is the code that we are going to have right over here, these two lines of code. If I am saving it right over here and executing these two lines of code, you are able to see that we are having our pop-up coming as Tony and Ezekiel. That's an, I love that meme, bro. Like so we are having our pop-up right over here. We want to put in our name, so that is Tony, because I find it very funny, and we are able to have that alert, hi Tony, welcome to DevTown. Now we want to convert these two lines of code into a function. Okay, so to convert any lines of code into a function itself, what you have to do is, just like variables, you first have to declare that this is the name of a function. So function, then the name itself. Okay, that the name of the function, let's call it as welcome message. Okay, and there are no, so parameters we'll be discussing about it later on. Right now we will keep it blank. Okay, so we are having a function, we are having the function as welcome message, and inside that we will put on our two lines of code. Okay, these two lines of code we will put it up inside the function. So right here moving it across. So this is how you create a function, how you declare a function. So function welcome message, okay, that is the name of this particular function, and all the code that you want to put inside that function, you put it inside the curly brackets. There is no like semicolon at the end. Please remember that one, because you are just declaring something. You're not writing a piece of code. This is not going to get executed. Okay, now when I'm running this, you will be able to see nothing happens. We didn't get a prompt, we didn't got an alert, nothing. Why is that the case? Because when you're creating a variable, does something happen? No, nothing happens, because you have just assigned some value to that variable name. When you will be using it, only then you will be able to get something executing, something happening inside the browser itself. Similarly, you have just declared, you have just created a function. Now you need to use it. Now you need to call that function. Okay, you need to say to that function that, okay, function, we need to work right now. So to call a particular function, what you have to do is welcome message and then parenthesis. That's it. This is how you call a particular function. Okay, now when you will be executing this code, you are able to get what is your name. So Tony, and you are able to hi Tony, welcome to DevTown. Okay, this is how you declare a function, and then to use it, you call that function. Now if you want to call it 100 times, just copy from here and just paste it as many number of times as you want. Okay, so you don't have to write that entire 2 lines of code again and again and again and again. You can directly just call that function hundreds and thousands of times. It will still work. Are you guys able to understand up till here? We will be looking at some of the other concepts and functions as well. This is the most simple form of function. There's nothing more simple than this. Okay, so please let me know if you are able to understand up till here, so that I can then I will proceed further. Amazing, guys. So next what we are going to do is, we want to pass in some value. I want to have the age as well that the user is able to use. I want to show, hi Tony, welcome to DevTown, your age is 18. Okay, this is what I want to show right now. So what can I do? And this 18 is being given to me in the function itself. This is called as passing parameters to the functions, passing on values to the functions. So the value that I want to pass is 18. Just think of it as a gift that you are giving to that function itself. So right now the value that I'm giving to the function is 18. So this is the age. So I need to declare here that, okay, this particular function takes in a parameter of age itself. Okay, this function takes in a parameter of age. Now whatever value that I'm putting right over here, that will be stored inside this age itself. You don't need to declare this particular variable. It is auto declared in JavaScript. It's very smart. It is able to auto declare this age locally for you don't have to write var age and something like that. No, you can directly write age right over here, and whatever value that you put here, that is auto assigned to age. Okay, now I can directly use it inside. So your name is something something, welcome to DevTown, your age is then some gap plus age. Okay, so this is what I've done right now. I'm having a particular alert saying, hi name, welcome to DevTown, your age is plus age. Okay, and the age is being passed on as a particular parameter, as a particular attribute, as a particular value, okay, to age. Okay, now if you are using a particular string right over there, if you are using a number, in both the cases it will still work. Okay, that's the basic thing. You can put, there are ways in JavaScript in which you can make sure that that particular value entered by the user is an integer or a float or a particular string itself, but that is beyond what we need to learn for the bootcamp. I'm not covering that right now, but yeah, you can put up some validations as well. Okay, so when I'm saving this right over here, executing this particular line, what is your name? So Tony, and as you're able to see, we are getting, hi Tony, welcome to DevTown, your age is 18. Okay, so think of this particular this particular value that you're putting in as a gift that you can use anywhere inside the function. You can use it anywhere inside the function. You can have multiple things. Okay, so for example 18, then let's say Bangalore. Okay, you are having two things right over here. You can have like a place, okay, right over here, and then you can, like, right now I'll just remove these things. I don't want that. Hide this. Your age is this, and then I'm having your location is this place. So when I'm saving this particular line of code, right now we are having two like values that we are feeding in. Okay, so when you are saving it and running these two lines of code, you are able to see that what is your name, Tony, and then we are having, hi Tony, your age is 18 and your location is Bangalore. You can have as many number of values that you want to fill in inside the parenthesis itself. Okay, sir, if you don't write name, if we click next, it is working. I don't know, like, I'm not able to understand what you're trying to say. Okay, next what we want to do is we want to make sure that, okay, so you are having your age, you are having your place, you are having your name. Okay, now I want to make sure that that function returns something to me as well. Okay, so for example, I'm giving him the age. It should return how much is my age in dog years. Okay, that is what I want to do. How much is my age in dog years? Okay, so I just want to multiply it by, let's say, 15. Okay, to calculate my age in dog years, maybe say. So what I want to do right over here is I have to do some calculations first of all. So I will write a new code, var dog age is equals to age multiplied by, I don't know the calculation for the same, I'm just doing a random calculation right over here. So I'm having var dog age is equals to age multiplied by 15. So that basically calculates my age in dog years, and then I want to return the dog age. Now, if you remember it correctly, when we were executing like alert, when we were executing like other functions, so these are all functions, console.log, you are having your alert, these all look very similar to a particular function. So you are having alert, and then in parentheses, this is how you are able to call the alert function itself. But when we were executing it inside the console, you were able to see that undefined is being returned to us, because that alert function isn't returning something. It is, I'm giving it something, or I'm not giving it something, but I'm expecting it to return some value to me. Now if it's not returning anything to me, that is called as undefined in JavaScript. That, guys, this function does not return anything. So every time I'm executing an function that does not return anything, it will give me undefined as the value. But when we were executing prompt, if you remember it correctly, okay, when we were executing prompt, it took in a particular value in the parenthesis, but the whatever input that the user is putting in, it gave that input back to us. If you remember it correctly, let me execute it. ROMPT prompt, and then what is your name. So as soon as I'm executing this, writing Shaurya right over here, you are able to see, instead of returning undefined, it is returning Shaurya to me. It is returning a value to me, and that value I can store inside a variable. So var name is equals to prompt, what is your name. So I'm able to store what the value it is returning to a particular variable, because it is returning something to me. So if you want your code to return some value, okay, now when I'm executing this particular line of code, what is your name, Tony, it is return. So we have got the alert. Now when I go back to our console, it is returning 270 to me. It is not giving me undefined. Now if I'm saving it, now that value I can save it inside a particular variable. So var d age is equals to welcome 18 Bangalore. So when I'm doing this, as now the return value is getting stored, so again executing this line is not giving you anything. So that will give me an undefined, but the value will be stored inside the age. What is your name? I'll put something. Okay. When I'm going back to console, you are able to see undefined being returned. But now when I am writing console dot log and then d age, okay, then it is showing me 270 that is being returned. Okay, 270 that is being printed out. Now this is not being returned to you. Okay, when you are using console.logdh, the thing is being returned to you. It is just printing it out inside. This is just logging the data inside the console itself. That's why you are getting undefined along with it. Okay, because this is not a returned value. You cannot store console.logdh into a variable, because it is just logging the information out on your console. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. I've already told about the concatenation rogue. I think so. Have I told you guys about concatenation? Please let me know. Okay, amazing. So I will reiterate. Okay, so these are the things that you need to know about functions. These are what we will be using in the project as well. Tomorrow, so we will be extending the number of days for the bootcamp by 1 day. Instead of having it for 7 days, we'll be having it for 8 days. The project we are going to start from tomorrow. The 2 pages that we are going to build, I will show it to you once again. First one is the home page of Netflix. This is the page that we will be building. Okay, the exact same page itself. But the only thing will be, instead of having like the movies opening up right over here, it will open up, when you're clicking on it, it will open up the trailer for those movies. Okay, because we don't have those movies itself. And I will try my best. You will have the search option as well. You don't have to worry. What I will be doing is, I will try, if time permits, to have these type of like, it just grows big and you're having some other options as well. I will try my best, but I cannot guarantee it. The rest we'll be making it in HTML, CSS and JavaScript. The other page that we are going to build is the landing page of Netflix. We'll be having this search button, and we'll be having this, like, when you're clicking on it, you are having your email address. If I'm removing it, then you are having email is required. So that is done by JavaScript itself. So this is a combination of both JavaScript and CSS, and this is just JavaScript that we will be having. So we will be implementing this page as well. So these will be the 2 pages that we'll be doing. Tomorrow, first of all, we'll be doing this page, and then in the second half, we'll be doing the other page itself. Okay, so these are the 2 projects that we will be doing in the next 2 days. Okay, 2 pages that we'll be doing, and we will be publishing it so that anyone can see it. We will be deploying it on GitHub pages itself, so that anyone is able to see them, use them, and see your project as well. So that is what my aim is. Okay, if you guys have any queries or any like suggestions as well, we will definitely try to do it. Amazing boys, we have already said that it usually takes 1 to 2 weeks after the end of the boot camp to send out the certificates. Okay, so today we got almost 40 registrations for the training and internship programs. So those who want to still join the program can definitely do so. We will be having some of the people from so we have already circulated the information on all the WhatsApp groups as well. So the links for the same has also been circulated. I guess you can talk to them, and the BDIs that we are having, they will help you out with the process as well, and you can definitely join the training and internship program as well. Okay. What is the difference between Go, JavaScript and JavaScript? So JavaScript and JavaScript is the exact same. Everybody knows that. Go is another language that was developed by Google. It was majorly focused upon fast transaction itself. That's why it's very fast, very lightweight. But as it is a very new language, nobody is currently using it, and the frameworks that exist upon it are only being able to, you will be able to use if you are excellent in programming and you have at least like 10 years of experience in web development itself. So because you will be doing everything from scratch, there are no good frameworks that you will be able to use. The certificates for all the previous bootcamps have already been sent. If you have, then there will be some attendance issues with your program. Okay. Amazing boys, we have an array of instructors. I will be one of the instructors as well. We have instructors from Oracle, Sony, Google, Microsoft, who will be teaching you guys. I will also be one of those instructors. Okay. No, you are in third year, you are not. See, if you are in your first, second, third, fourth year, you are not late. Okay. There's nothing called as late. You just have to do a lot of hard work. That's it. Why we use Flutter, Firebase, Spring, Tailwind, and some other like that. Sohan, these are usually used for making mockups of a particular website. Okay, you want to make a website, like you don't want to make a production website. You want to make something that you are able to demo it to someone. Okay, immediately want to make it. So these technologies help you to make that relatively easier, but that cannot go into production. No company will be having these technologies in production itself, because that's like saying that you want to have like a chamcha to screw up all the industry level screws. Okay, so you cannot do that. You cannot have a spoon to screw up like all the screws inside an industry. You have to have proper tools and techniques for the same. Okay. Yes, of course. See, like I said, in first year, second year, third year, fourth year, you can join the program. There's no issues in that. Okay. Okay, yes, we will be making the entire Netflix clone step by step. Anything that is different, I will be explaining it. You don't have to worry about the same. Okay, so let me just show the attendance link right now. You can take a screenshot for the same, fill it accordingly, and we will meet tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, is the quality of my video okay? Because like I talked to my brother, so I have a little brother who's currently preparing for NEET. So I talked to him and he said that the video quality is not nice. It looks very shabby. And I was like, dude, I don't know, I have no idea. So can you guys let me know? Is the video quality, like my video quality, okay, or like there's some issues with that? But I don't think so. It is necessary for me to look amazing. Like you should be able to see the screen. I'm just here so that it's interactive. It shouldn't be like, yeah, you are just listening to a voice speaking shit. Like it's a bit interactive as well. Video quality is poor. Okay, no issues in that. Okay, but you are able to see me. That's fine. Like nobody's going to recognize me as well, but still. Okay. Okay, so we will be doing all this in like code sandbox itself, so that nobody has to like be compulsory that okay, I have to have the entire code written in the laptop itself. Anyone can do the same from his or her phone as well. That is the aim. Okay, so let's meet tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much. And for those who are planning to join the program, the links have already been sent to all the WhatsApp groups. Do join for there. And if you have any questions, you can, of course, approach me. And yeah, many people have told me that I look like a fat Carrie Minati, but like, there's nothing that I can do for the same. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay. It may be possible that I'm using a deep fake of Carrie Minati. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Yeah, of course, you will be able to share this clone with your friend as well. We will be deploying it. You don't have to worry about the same. Yeah, see, we have students from MSc, MCA, BCA, statistics, even from maritime engineering. So we got one of the students from maritime engineering who joined us, and he got placed in Amazon as a front-end engineer. So like it's of no use what you are or what you have been. The only thing that you have to like understand is that you need to have the right guidance as well as the right knowledge at the end of the day. Okay. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow. It was great meeting you guys. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you.